I'm Braden Engel from the San Francisco Bay Area, NP. I got a song for y'all. It's called The Alphabet. Not your kid's alphabet song, but the alphabet. So many people get so alone. We're all like letters on a Scrabble board. Well, I've been thinking it's time for more. Rearrange the alphabet for a higher score. After 1 week, here I am, working from home. Nobody told me it feels so alone. 2 weeks, here I am, working from home. Feels like dyslexia in Braille code. My days all feel the same. Schedules illegible, sidewalk chalk in rain. What we need is rearrange the alphabet into a game. Rearrange the alphabet into a game. After 3 weeks, here I am, working from home. Nobody told us it feels so alone. In 4 weeks, here I am, working from home. Feels like dyslexia in Braille code. These days like frozen time. Frozen time. Schedules illegible, letters and lines. What we need. Rearrange the alphabet into a rhyme. Rearrange the alphabet into a rhyme. Well, 5 weeks I have worked in every room. Why didn't I think to buy stock in Zoom? In 6 weeks, here I am, working from home. Feels like dyslexia in Braille code. My days, they go so slow. Schedules illegible, words on the phone. What we need. Rearrange the alphabet into a poem. Rearrange the alphabet into a poem. Rearrange the alphabet into a poem. Rearrange the alphabet into a poem.
Welcome to November Project, the show, episode 14, with your hosts, Laura, BG, and myself, Boyan. Today we have some very exciting guests. Started off with incredible musical performance by Braden, the future father. And I don't know who's going to close the show, but somewhere in between, we have one and only Jim Weber, the CEO of Brooks Running. We're super excited to have him. We're going to talk to him in a few minutes. But before we go down to Jim or over to Jim, what's up, friends? How we doing?
I'm great. I'm so great. I'm so great. I'm so great. I'm so good. I'm so great. The point of this show early on, I think, was to like keep it upbeat, and not just talk about how COVID is like draining the world. So, Laura, why don't you hit him with some upbeat stuff?
Sorry, Brian Fisher is texting us, so just edit this part out.
But without any further ado, because I know he's a busy man, maybe we bring him in early?
Plug him in.
Let's see what happens.
I can hear you.
I can hear you. Hooray.
That's the
Happy
first
Friday.
step. Happy Friday. The
Right
first
back
step. Any successful Zoom meeting starts with, "Can you hear me?" And if the answer is yes, it's already been this whole thing has been a win. So we could be done. We could be done now.
We are all going to be so expert on video technology.
Totally.
What an outcome.
Jim, how are you? Where are you? Obviously, we got a couple quick questions for you, and we're so pumped that you're on the show with us. And how's your day going? Tell us something about your life.
Oh my gosh. So I've had a full week and a full day already. We had a town hall last night with all of our factory partners in Asia, China, Vietnam, Taiwan. We had 60 people from probably 20 different factories on a town hall just to give them an update on what we're seeing and running and in our business and the like. And then we had another town hall this morning with 400 of our folks in North America, our US and Canadian teams. And so it's been busy. I've been on video for the last 24 hours. It's seemingly nonstop. So, but it's good. You know, yeah. There's shines of sunshine out there, and that's fantastic.
So to follow that pattern, so can you tell us a little bit of how you seeing the running changing? You know, there's some great stories, there's some bad stories out there. What do you see the running industry? What's the direction that it's going to?
You know, I think you have to start with the fact that this crisis is global, and starting with the health crisis, right? And it's touched every person in every household almost in the whole world. Certainly in Europe and the United States and China. I mean, it's just so big. And now, you know, that health crisis, which we've all been watching, has affected the economy dramatically. So we, like probably everyone, paused. You know, and you know, I've been working at home. I'm completing my 9th week working at home. So, you know, in the early weeks of this, it's hunker down and make sure everybody's healthy and stays healthy as best we can. And now, you know, how does life begin to evolve? And so what's really cool is that I think, you know, it's primal, right? I think we're better off or happier if we move every day, if we get outside every day. And so, you know, we always believe that running, you know, because you can do it distanced, it's social and community oriented, but you can do it out your back door. If you have a pair of shoes and some gear, you can go. And so we believed it would recover, hold up better, and maybe recover earlier. And we're seeing that. You know, there's no question about it. I think, you know, it's a challenge to do it virtually. You know, and the November Project is on that as well. I'll give you one example of just what we saw this past weekend. We sponsor the Pittsburgh Marathon, and I've never run it, but they had, I don't know, you know, call it 20-some thousand registrants. And they offered people who wanted to run it virtually. And over half the people decided to hold on to this marathon experience, and they ran it virtually. And another 1,000 people signed up to run that marathon virtually. So, you know, I think we've all experienced this situation differently. Some people are working and they're essential, and certainly the healthcare community is carrying so much water here. And then a lot of us have had to, you know, distance and be home and the like. So, you know, I think that what's exciting to me though is that the run, you know, and being active and getting out can make your day better. It can be part of the day that, you know, that helps you deal with the challenges that we're all seeing right now.
And Jim, I know like all these different companies are doing what they can for healthcare workers, especially around the United States. Brooks gave away 10,000 shoes at the kind of the start of it all, and they're continuing to make different efforts. So can you talk a little bit about what you guys are up to now? Yeah,
you know, I think, you know, we've always believed that we need to put something back into the communities, especially the ones we operate in. And, you know, and in the healthcare community, what's interesting about that is, you know, for 60 years now, we've made biomechanically based running shoes. And the truth is, they're also great for walking. And because of the support characteristics and the biomechanical design, I call them standing shoes. They're also great for standing. So we've had a long history of healthcare workers, restaurant workers, and people that are just on their feet all day being very loyal Brooks customers. So we've had relationships with sports medicine community and the healthcare community for a long time with footwear. And so, when you think about what can you do, to really have an impact, that was obvious for us, right? It was just so obvious for us to make a commitment to, put good shoes on people that were working in this environment to help keep all of us healthy, and that would value a good pair of shoes. So when we did that first giveaway, they went like that. I think we were oversubscribed, and they went in a few hours. So we've added another promotion, and we've got some inventory, but to really do more in this realm, what we've got a promotion on is if you buy $150 roughly worth of gear, we're going to give another pair of shoes to a healthcare worker, and the goal is to give about 25,000 pairs. And that's almost $3 million in value. So, it's actually, an easy thing for us to do in the sense of it's what we do well and it's valued by them. So we're excited that we're able to give something back, and boy, are they deserving right now. They're on their feet a lot.
Yeah, I've actually, I'm a physical therapist, and I obviously went to school with other therapists and nurses, and I sent them that link. I have like a dozen text messages with all their new Brooks and their scrubs and their PPE gear, and I'm so proud.
That's great. It's good to hear. We get a lot of positive feedback on it, and again, it's there's a lot of people that are giving everything they have right now, and so to be able to help them just that much is a wonderful thing.
Awesome. So by the way, Laura and Boyan, we have Jim on the show. I mean, how wild is this? Okay. Just kind of taking a little roll call. We got Jim on the show right now. Got it. Okay. Jim, you're a great speaker. It was so cool to have you in front of all of the November Project leaders last summer in Seattle. Talk about a way to connect to the brand. The guy who sits at the top not only is kind of walking everyone through why Brooks believes in and unhappy, but also you're at the workout, like you're in the mix, you're of this community. So thank you. I mean, all the way up until last week, the Strava Challenge, like Brooks has been there as a partner, and it's just so visible and so cool. But as I know you're a big fan of NP the show, we thought it could be kind of cool. And Laura has the 5-star review. Like NP the show, it's completely made up. But the idea is it's a little bit of a powerful way to talk about things that are good right now. Unlike the Yelp world where everyone jumps on to really bring someone down in the service industry or whatever it is, tell you how bad something is. 5-star review is that, Laura's 5-star review is that you have to give 5 stars to anyone or anything or any concept or whatever you'd like that you see right now, or something that's uplifting. I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but would you like to give Laura's 5-star review?
It'd be an honor to give Laura's 5-star
Oh,
review.
wait,
There's a jingle.
There's a jingle?
Oh, yeah.
5-star review.
5.
For you and me. Okay. All right, Jim.
Okay, and now you can give out the 5 stars.
It's a challenge because there's a lot of recognition to give. There just is, you guys, and the people that are carrying so much water for all of us right now are the healthcare workers, the ICU folks. I mean, they're keeping people healthy, and so I can't resist. But I just came off 2 town halls with our broad Brooks employees teams, and I'm grateful for all of our Brooks teammates. They are working very hard. It's a challenging time. Many are working from home. Many are essential workers working in our distribution centers and the like, trying to get product out to customers that want it. And we're trying to support our retailers right now, the specialty retail community, which is such the center of the run community in so many towns and cities. And they're doing pickup in store, and we're trying to support them along the way. So our employees are leaning in, and of course, many of them are homeschooling their kids right now, and they're busy at home with trying to mix work and everything that happens there. So I'm just super grateful. 5-star reviews for my Brooks teammates right now. I'm really proud to be part of this team.
That's amazing. Awesome. And now, as of just right now, you're a part of our team too. So thank you. Jim, we've talked about this a little bit back and forth. Last summer, when I first met you, my wife and I and our 2-year-old, 1.5 then, moved here to the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a hidden fun fact, but you spent time here. Are you from? What did you give it? And if you have any tips for me about these Twin Cities, I'm still exploring. So, are there any old haunts you want to bring up?
You're not exploring right now.
I
love it. I am a Minnesotan. I grew up in St. Paul area. I went to the University of Minnesota. I'm a Golden Gopher, and the early part of my working life was in Minneapolis. So, you know, I became a runner when I quit playing competitive hockey. The water freezes up there. If you haven't noticed, in the winter,
it gets cold enough where the water becomes liquid. It becomes solid. The liquid becomes solid.
You can skate on the lakes. You can skate on the ponds. You can ice fish on the ponds.
You can really get moving.
But at University of Minnesota, I ran the river, and then when I worked downtown Minneapolis, I ran the river, the Pillsbury A Mill, the old Stone Arch Bridge, and you know, my wife and I were back for a wedding last summer, and we ran the riverfront as well. And it was just great to be back. So the City of Lakes, I ran the Twin Cities Marathon 3 times in my younger days. I've gone back to the 10-mile race. So great events, and they call it the most beautiful urban marathon in America. And you're experiencing that right now. There's just so many wonderful places to bike and run and be outside.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. And ice fish.
And ice fish, that's right.
Yeah, BG's a massive fisherman.
Yeah, Brogan's a big ice fisherman.
Jim, for 5 years before this, Jim, I was living in San Diego. So like, I'm just kind of like white knuckling this, being like, I'm fine. Jim, we know your time is extremely valuable. Oftentimes guests get the opportunity before they take off to hit us with something upbeat, maybe something that you're kind of using to guide you, something positive, maybe a positive message. Not only these viewers, but these viewers that go on and live their life mostly at home, but are connected to so many others. So do you have any kind of positive best wishes?
You know, it's an anxious, stressful time, right? It just is. And there's a lot of uncertainty out there and a lot of things you can't control. We're all in that situation right now. So what I think is really important, if you can during the day, is take some time for yourself. Invest in yourself and your sanity, because you're taking care of your family and your spouse and you're working and all the other things that we do. And you know, for me, that's always been a November project workout or a run or something. So, but I think, you know, for me, it's taking time, even in a busy day, to try to get outside, to try and move. And that to me is an investment in my own health, wellness, and how I feel. It just makes the day better. So I think that's important. And you can be so distracted by, you know, everything going on in the media and the news and all the challenges that we have. But I think you have to take time and do something that feeds you during the day. I think that's super important, especially when you're all in one place, because the venues don't change. You know, I think it was one of the evening shows. The way you know it's Friday afternoon is that you sit not in this chair. Now you move over to that chair because it's the weekend. And, you know, but I think the routines are so disrupted for so many of us that taking time to do something for yourself every day and stay as positive as you can.
Go ice fishing, BG.
Jim, it was a pleasure having you on NP the show. It's so validating for this, whatever this is. And I know that our November Project community is going to fall even further in love with you and Brooks. And just thank you for all that you do and all that Brooks is doing. So awesome.
Well, I just want to give a shout out to you guys. November Project I was part of before we met. You had other sponsors in those days, but it's such a powerful community, as you all know, and we're so proud to be attached to you. I think our purpose and our missions are so attached in what, you know, these activities bring to people, and being part of a community does. So we couldn't be more proud than to be associated with you guys. And the Sunrise Run, how many people did we get out? I was there. I did it. It was so much fun. Thank you guys for all you do to keep people moving. It's great.
Thank you, Jim. It means a lot.
Take care. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right.
Well, that was Jim Weber.
What did you think of Jim? How great is that guy? Come on.
Yeah, he's awesome. he also, you have to put in perspective that he's just super down to earth dude. He'll talk about anything, but at the same time, he has massive job.
Yeah.
He's rubbing elbows with, Warren Buffett, and not rubbing elbows, kind of like hanging out. Warren Buffett is his boss, directly reporting to Warren Buffett. That's kind of intimidating, right? Yeah. And on top of all of that, he's taking time to talk to us jabronis. So
yeah, pretty good. So by proxy, that makes us awesome. When you hear the phrase "rubbing elbows with someone," what do you think of? What's the visual that comes to mind? Do you have one?
I do.
Boy, why don't you go first?
I imagine immediately kind of like a banquet situation where there's just like bunch of, like tight, like tuxedos and like gowns and things, and then some dude with like a fucking slicked hair just coming in and is like, so what do you do? And that's actually my worst nightmare. Someone approaching me and the first question being, what do you do? I just want to like, let me body slam you right now.
So your visual is a guy trying to kind of skeezy network rub elbow. That's what you.
But like that's pretty accurate, right? Like, right. I think that's what it's intended to be. Whereas my visual is people actually going up to each other and like.
Okay. Yeah, rubbing. Yeah.
I have a very thorough brain, and like I know what the phrase means, but I still picture like.
Well, so now with this whole social distancing thing, and who knows what the world is going to look like when we go back to the workouts, the high fives and hugs, I think that's all going to go away. So maybe kind of like touching elbows, may come up. There may be a different meaning to it.
That's pretty funny. All right, good morning. Before we get going, before we lay out the workout, let's rub elbows. I mean, that's funny. I also, my visual is people that are all wearing different colored flannels at a buffet line. I've never said this out loud. And their flannels are rolled up, so their elbows are exposed, and they're kind of putting a dinner roll on a plate. And it's because they're dressed so casually, and they're able to actually rub elbows. I'm seeing that as a great place to actually connect with someone like Warren Buffett, whatever. But yeah, Warren Buffett. You get it. So our next musical guest, and this part might get cut out, but our next musical guest is coming on in.
All right, that's not. That was just sound check. My name is Maggie, and I'm going to play Count on Me by Bruno Mars. Do I just start? If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle. My bad.
So good.
If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, yeah. If you're tossing and you're turning and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing a song beside you. If you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do. Sorry. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah.
That has been November Project, the show, episode 14. Subscribe in all the corners and watch more shows.